We got these two titans going head to head. Let's do some film. So Embiid sets a pick and pop, and then he gets the ball right here. And Jokic is smart enough to know that he's not going to contest Embiid's shot up top, and so he waits for the ball to be exposed a little bit. And then once it comes out right there, you saw that swipe. Jokic got his hand on it, and so that's how he likes to play defense because he's not going to jump and block most shots, especially against someone like Embiid. That's just too hard to do. So Jokic has the ball at the top of the key, and I'm always impressed with his fundamentals because he has the ball on his right hip, and he has it behind his hip, so then the defender can't reach. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a foul if you hold it in the right position. So that's really good fundamentals. But then he's also surveying over here, and he wants Aaron Gordon to get out of the way because he wants to occupy that space. So that's what happens. And then when he gets to this point, what he's watching for is Embiid because obviously the defensive 3 seconds is an issue. So when he gets in the paint, he's looking over his shoulder to see if Embiid's going to leave or not. And so if Embiid leaves, he's just going to go one-on-one. If Embiid stays, he's going to make this pass because he's going to sit behind the defense. So right here on this dribble, here comes the pass. Why? Because there's Embiid. He had to step outside the lane in order to avoid that defensive 3 seconds. He sat in the pocket, and Jokic was also watching Kelly Oubre right here because if he drops, then Caldwell Pope's probably going to cut in the middle. If Maxey covers that, then he can just hit MPJ at the top of the key for an open three. And so his IQ of just reading these 3 options, in a split second is just super high level, and that's just the easiest pass you're going to make for an and one. And when Embiid gets the ball and he attacks, he's been really good this year at creating space in the mid-range. So what he does on attacks like this is once he initiates that contact, he knows it's going to back the defender up a little bit just because he's so big and strong that once he gives you a little bit of physical push, then, you're not going to be able to sustain your ground. So he gives him that bump, backs Jokic up a little bit, and then he just steps back into space. Once he gets into his space, there's really nothing you can do about it. It doesn't even matter that these two defenders are here. At that point, he can't even see him, and then he just shoots over the top. And I always love to point out fundamentals when I can. Like this right here, Jokic is getting denied, but he knows how to catch under pressure. And so he keeps the defender on one side, asks for it on the outside. The passer is smart enough to get it to the way outside so then the defender can't get a hand on it. Catches it out there as far as possible, just fully extended arm. And then when he wants to gather and secure the ball, he brings this arm up, and he does not bring the ball that much closer. And so he still keeps the ball protected. Defender reaches in. Easiest foul call ever. Just being fundamental under pressure. Now Embiid catches it right here. Same deal, catches it on the outside hand, but then he regains his balance. So that's the first thing. If you're getting pushed in the back a little bit, start to regain your balance. And that's something he does really well right here. And then he backs that foot up, gets into a square position, and look how low his rip through is. This is the position I always talk about. Make that L, that upside down L or a 7 or whatever you want to call it. Bring the ball down because defenders don't reach down there. And now all he's looking for is a space to bring the ball up. So now he brings it to his left pocket. He never holds it just in the middle. That's where you get stripped. And so once he gets over here, he's like, okay, defender's arm is on this side. I'm going to go up and shoot on the other side. That's how he gets that off. So here's a different view. It's a little bit easier to see. So notice as he squares up, keeps that ball in his right pocket, and then he goes across and low quickly, brings it to the other side. Now all he's looking for is a little lane to bring the ball up and shoot it. If the arm's on this side, he's going to bring it up on that side. There it is. Now Jokic dribbles into a post-up against Embiid, and what he starts to do automatically is just initiate as much contact as possible, right? So as he's doing that, he's reading, the force of Embiid, and if you look at Embiid's leg angle, you can tell that this means that he's putting a lot of force into Jokic, and so Jokic can feel that, so he's going to spin off of it. So once he spins off of it, then that means Embiid's too close to cut that spin off. And if Embiid would have left himself a little bit more space, instead of initiating so much contact, he would have been able to cut that off, but he was kind of stuck because he was getting buried under the basket. So, this is just easy fundamentals by Jokic. Could have been a foul. Depends on the ref. So here's a situation where Embiid has just a complete mismatch against DeAndre Jordan. And so DeAndre decides he's going to play back and go under the screen. And Embiid doesn't fall for it because if DeAndre's going to guard him, he wants him to shoot out here so then he doesn't have to deal with it down here in the paint, right? And so Embiid, what he does is they call this eating space. So if somebody's going to leave so much space in between you, then you got to take up all that space and make them play you. And then if they continue to back up, now you have an open shot from here instead of an open shot from the three-point line. And that's a lot better, especially for Joel Embiid. He's just automatic almost in this little mid-range area. And so when you eat that space, that's what I learned from Grant Hill. You eat up the space, make them play you, and then you can probably get a better shot if they're going to continue to back off. And then that's just automatic. So right here, Jokic sets the screen, and the smart thing that he does is he sits in that little gap right there. You know, he's always in the perfect space, it seems like. And now he has to make Embiid decide, is he going to stay here or is he going to stop the ball? Ends up stopping the ball. What's that leave open? Offensive rebounding opportunities. So he gets in there, gets a hand on it, catches it high, does not bring it down, surrounded. Just quick tip immediately. So right here, after Embiid gets the rebound, he notices that Jokic is kind of jogging a little bit, so he speeds up, runs right into him. And I'm not a big fan of those type of fouls where you're just running into somebody, but he notices he's out of position and he takes advantage. So he's not all the way turned around, ready to play defense. Watch how he speeds up to get the ball, right into him. Foul. So here's a high IQ play on the left side of your screen. You got Embiid. If he's the first one down the floor, so he automatically gets himself in post position. Better yet, he gets himself behind the defense. So now all Tobias Harris has to do is just throw it high. That's going to be an easy catch. It doesn't even matter. The help is there. It's just too high. He's going to get it. Protects the ball. Easy bucket. If you ever want to spot a high IQ player, just watch how they position themselves in most scenarios. So if you watch Jokic down here, all he does is he watches for Maxey and just tries to read the timing of this. And then he's just going to get himself in perfect position to contest, but not foul. So here he is. He's over there early. He's just kind of reading what angle he's going to take. And then he gets his chest right in front, goes straight up, doesn't foul, causes the miss, and gets the rebound. Now he's off and running. And then on this play, he's trailing the play, but he's not trailing too fast. He's giving them space to operate. And so that's another thing, like the timing of this run. This is perfect timing. As soon as he starts his drive, here's that cut right there, right? And then the shot goes up. Perfect position to get this offensive rebound, and he reads it perfectly off the rim. Even though he misses that initial tip, there he is, catches it high, keeps it high. Easiest 2 buckets, man. And then here's a spot where Embiid just reads the double team almost perfectly 2 times in a row. And then so on the first one, catches it, doesn't even dribble. He's just surveying the operation. Here comes that double team. He just gets rid of it, doesn't even. And then that's the adjustment from before. There was another scenario before where Maxey was too far away. They made the adjustment. Now he's available from that double team, right? And so now gets it back. Same exact thing. Sees Jokic coming. Gets it out of there. Avoids that little double team operation. 3 points. So here's another high IQ play by Jokic. Here he is right here, running down the middle. And he sets this little down screen, but all he does is read it. So he knows that if they're going to switch this down screen, all he's going to do is open up to the middle because there's no defender on the inside of him, because now his responsibility is that curl. He gets caught on the outside of that screen. The only way that would get messed up is if the help from over here comes up too high, but they're too far away to make that happen. He catches it. He's patient. He's watching the diver to see if he can make that pass. He has enough space right there. Just puts up the jump shot. Smart play. So Embiid gets the mismatch at the high post. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And he knows just how to get a shot off against somebody that's shorter than him. He pretty much just catches his balance right here. Once he gets that balance, he dribbles away. And then look at the ball placement as he brings it up. So one, he's keeping it away from the reach on the dribble. But then on the pickup, he brought it up on that outside. Let me go back and see if you can see a little better. Right here, turns, picks up on his left hip, outside hip, so he can avoid that reach just in case it's there. And then the reach doesn't even come. And then once the ball's above his head, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. He doesn't even see him. And Jokic is always going to be a beast on the boards. Like, look at how he just pushes Batum in. He knows where his teammate is. Even though he knows he's not going to catch it, he just slaps it to his teammate. It goes directly to him. As this game's gone on, they've started to double team Embiid pretty much every single play. And so he's just playing quarterback here at the top of the key. He catches it up there. They double team him right away pretty much. He gets rid of it, doesn't even put it on the ground. Gets it back, and then he knows, okay, they're trying to double here, and they're, matched up on this side. Now they got a dunker. It's making Jokic decide, is he going to stay down or is he going to go out? That's all Embiid is watching for, just seeing what he's going to do. He just rifles one to the corner. Wide open jump shot. I mean, it's literally every play at this point. Catches it, double team, just playing quarterback. He doesn't rotate near early enough, and you can't leave Maxey that open. There's just no way. And here's Jokic again, just relentless on the boards right there. he always gets that first tip, and then he knows where it's going off that first tip. I feel like he's probably tipping it to himself sometimes. And then once he gets two hands on it, I mean, it's pretty much going to be a bucket right there. That's happened at least 3 times already this game. Now, this was about to be great, positioning-wise for Jokic because he wanted to get it here in the post, but then Joel goes to the front, so then they swing it so then they can get this angle right there. Jokic tries to hold him off. That would have been the easiest pass ever. I don't know what they called right there. Probably just a tip. But that was just going to be great positioning. So here's Jokic again at the high post, and he's about to play quarterback again. And he's just waiting on the double team, being patient. Here it is. And now he's going to survey his options. So now it's 1, 2, 3 on 1 and 2, and they have to make decisions. And so first thing is he looks here, makes Batum move up, and then he sees Aaron Gordon down there, fakes the pass, and then Joel Embiid just jumps for it. Wide open shooter in the corner, wide open shot. Even though he missed it, that was a great look. Now, the one thing I don't like about what I've been seeing from the Sixers offense so far is they're just playing spot basketball, and they're playing, accidental basketball. That's what Kobe and Phil Jackson would call it, where, they just wait for a double team. They don't dictate the action. They let the defense dictate. And so once the double team happens, it's like, okay, the defense is going to decide how, we play basketball. And so if they're going to bring this double team right here and send a lot of help, then the defense will dictate and make him pass it out instead of them having counters for that. And so that's the one thing I haven't liked about the Sixers offense so far. It's so Embiid-centric when they throw it into the post. And in reality, they should be, letting people move around, let Maxey handle the ball a little bit more. But they've been hitting shots out of that, so I guess they're going to stay with it until, they decide otherwise. And so this is the consequences of accidental basketball, right? They throw it in the post. They got help right here, super strong help. And so he has to go away. Even if he tries to spin back, he knows he's there. He can't really do it. And then he gets into this spot. He doesn't know who's going to be open. Now he has to guess. And so that's what accidental basketball is. Instead of them having counters for the things that happen, they're like, okay, let's absorb the double team, and then let's just see who's open. I don't know. I'm going to try to make a pass. And it ends up in a turnover. And then here's the same thing with the Nuggets, right? They're just playing spot basketball where, the best player goes to the spot, they throw him a ball, and then they're just playing accidental stuff. But they have the mismatch right here. And Jokic, he knows how to take advantage of these every single time. Just puts his weight on him, spins away, brings the ball up on the outside. There's no hope for Tyrese Maxey. That's going in. Then here it is again. And it's okay to play spot basketball, I think, when the clock's starting to wind down at the end of the quarter or whatever it is. And he has, a mismatch where he almost messed up is he almost exposed the ball a bit too much. So look at that. Patrick Beverley got his hand on it, but he's just not strong enough to strip it from Jokic. And so he pivoted again. And then on this one, he kept it a little bit more outside, then brought it up and over. Here it is again. I'll show you how close that was. So on this spin right here, he should have kept it a little bit more back on this hip and brought it up and over on his right side. But he was a little bit late to it. Patrick Beverley just has good hands also. And so, gets a hand on it, not strong enough to strip it. Then on this one, brings it up over that right ear. Can't do nothing about it. And I'm always fascinated with Jokic, right? He catches it, and he just has, the perfect footwork almost every time. Like, if you watch this, right, super subtle. He catches it on two and then pivots in immediately. Wastes no movement, wastes no steps. It's literally one step, one dribble, and he has a shot in the air that quick. It's just super efficient movement, and that's why he's a super efficient player. And Embiid has a great possession right here where, this drive's starting to happen. And at the last second, he turns his body so he doesn't get a push foul and tries to get his shoulder in front of the ball. It's solid position. I wouldn't call that a foul either. And then he takes off right here. Now, this was really smart. He starts off a little jog, and then he goes into a full sprint, and then he's able to control his body right there. And so he made it seem as if he was just going to take off. It looked like he was going to take off with that step. Jokic thought he had solid position for the charge, and then he has this one more step just right around him. Slows himself down, easy bucket. It's a speed change that caught him off guard. So it looked like that was going to be the takeoff foot, and then he slowed himself down with that exact step, went right around him under control. And then here's Embiid catching it. He always just dominates the triple threat. He keeps it super simple too. His jab is super convincing. He has such a good rip through, and he fakes that rip through right there as if he's going to go right. Makes Jokic drop that foot. As soon as he drops that foot and backs up, that's just way too much space. By the time he has it right here, it's just too late. He can't see you anymore. Here he is again in the triple threat. Just basic, man. His fundamentals are great. Again, here's that little, that I call it L, even though I know it's not a L. I should say like a 7. Whatever it is, he always gets in that position, brings his shoulders down, always has the ball in the right spot. Again, the arm's on this side, he goes up on the other side. His arm is on Embiid's right shoulder, so he's going to shoot from his left shoulder. So there it is. It's out of the way, up and over. Easy too. And then here it is again, if you can see it. Brings it over, rips through low, gets it in his left pocket. There's that hand right here in his right pocket. So he always shoots from the opposite. Goes up. That's just too easy, man. Now right here, Jokic was thinking pass first. He was looking for this handoff or maybe a cut from here. And then Embiid, he had to respect that. So he notices that, that backdoor is not going to be as open just because Embiid's right there playing the pass. So all he does is square up super quick, gets into his shot pocket. Easy. And this was pretty much the close and play by Embiid. And what he does right here, he reads the momentum perfectly. Jokic comes up just a step too high. And so right when he catches it, he notices that momentum happening. It's slightly to his right side, so he's going to attack the left. Right there. Easy. Drives in that straight line. They called it on the ground, and he ended up getting the free throws. So is that being the end of the game? I think that was a pretty good matchup. The thing I was surprised at, that the Nuggets didn't switch up their defense. They pretty much let Embiid do whatever he wanted to end the game, and then, that pretty much cost them. If I was them, I probably would have put Jokic on Embiid and just see what happens, because sending that double team just was not sustainable. I think the Nuggets should have stuck with the double team after Joel's dribble, because the times that they did it, it was a little bit more difficult, and they even caused the turnover. So I don't know why they didn't go back to that, but I'll see you on the next one. Good game.